Hey everyone, happy holidays to you all. We have another great round of deals to go through today, and we're keeping it to games under $2. Now remember that Qubic Games is currently running their own special sale, and many of the games in their library are under $1 right now. So be sure to check out their full catalog for the games that they've published, and you may save even more money. To the crew, thank you as always for hanging out, and if you are new to the channel, I hope that we help you find something cool to play. If you have a good time, consider subscribing to stick around, and with that said, we'll go ahead and dive in. Stay safe, my friends. Alright, and we'll start with Akane, which is a single-player arcade fighter with a download around 430 megabytes, and the main story will last roughly 5 to 6 hours. However, the game is incredibly difficult, so you'll likely get way more playtime from it if you decide to pick it up. The game itself is set in a futuristic version of Tokyo, and the soundtrack is pretty impressive, plus it puts you in the mood for the carnage that's about to take place. Now, one-hit kills are the name of the game, but that will go for the player as well, and you'll be facing waves of enemies until you sort of hit a boss checkpoint, and then kind of do it again. It's a perfect game for short play sessions, and right now you can pick it up for just $1.99, marked down 60% with the deal ending on the 26th. Now, keep in mind this is one of the games that qualifies for the special pricing from Qubic Games, so if you go to the product page on the eShop, you'll be able to tell if you qualify. Aspire Ina's Tale is a single-player puzzle platformer from Untold Tales with a download around 1.9 gigs and a main story that, while it is pretty short, it is very impactful and will last roughly 2 to 3 hours to wrap up. The visuals and sound design are top-notch and the main reason to experience the game in my opinion. The world is immersive, and the short bit of narration given is just enough to keep you intrigued and curious about what's to come. The puzzles themselves can be a bit challenging at times, but overall it's a very peaceful experience, and right now it's on sale for just $1.99, marked down 85% with the deal ending on the 1st of January. Blazing Beaks is a twin-stick action RPG with a top-down view and a download around half a gigabyte. The game offers dozens of hours of fun due to the challenge and the addictive gameplay loop. It does put a bit of a comedic twist on the genre as well, and even has items that when you pick them up can harm you or make the rest of your run incredibly tough. In fact, the game overall is kind of on the harder side when it comes to twin-stick shooters, so definitely keep that in mind. It does offer local co-op for up to 4 players, which is always nice, and if you're interested you can grab it for just $1.99, marked down 87% and matching an all-time low until the 1st. Dex is a single-player 2D action RPG that has a main story that will take roughly 10 to 15 hours to wrap up. It features deep RPG mechanics mixed with side-scrolling 2D action and gives you dialogue choices that can alter the outcome of the story. On top of that, you have the ability to play more stealthy or go all out in full force, and right now you can pick it up for just $1.99, marked down 90% with the deal ending on the 1st. You will need about 6 gigs for the install. Dicey Dungeons is a strangely addictive game and definitely a hidden gem in my opinion. It's a deck-building roguelike dungeon crawler with a ton of content on offer. You have multiple playable characters, several different dungeons broken into parts, and it's all done as part of a game show that's being hosted by Lady Luck. Now this is another tough game, but right now you can pick it up for just $1.99, marked down 87% with the deal ending on the 4th of January. You'll need a little over 1 gig for the install. Earth Atlantis is a single-player underwater monster hunter. It has a download around 700 megabytes and offers about 3 to 4 hours of gameplay on average. Now the game does play like your standard side-scrolling shooter and gives players a pretty large map to explore with plenty of variety in the enemy type and things to keep you busy. As you play through, you'll also find unlockables including new ships with their own unique special weapons, and you'll need these more powerful ships later on for some of the tougher boss battles. They did go with a unique art style as well, and it looks great here on the console. Right now you can pick it up for just $1.99, marked down 87% with the deal ending on the 5th. Up next we have Emma Lost in Memories, which is a single-player puzzle platformer with a bit of a twist thrown in. At the start of every level you're always on a timer, the walls and platforms begin to disappear, so you'll have to think and act quickly, otherwise it's a long fall to starting over. Now this one can be completed in about 3 to 5 hours and it has a download around 200 megabytes. Another thing to keep in mind is that your character runs automatically at a fixed speed, so that does become part of the challenge, and after you've completed the levels you can revisit them for added replay value. There's definitely a lot to like here as long as you don't mind auto runners, and you can pick this one up for just $1.99, marked down 75% with the deal ending on the 4th. Feudal Alloy is a single-player 2D Metroidvania. It offers more than 10 hours of gameplay, and the download is a little under 2 gigs. Now in this one we play as Deathu, which is a fish-controlled robot, and while it sounds a bit strange, it works within the context of the story. In fact, almost everything in the game is themed around machinery in some way or another, and it is a surprisingly deep Metroidvania with tight controls, interesting level design, and enjoyable combat. You have weapon and gear upgrades that you can find, and there are a ton of secrets and hidden collectibles as well. In my opinion, this is another hidden gem, and right now you can pick it up for just $1.99, marked down 88% with the deal ending on the 8th. Glam is a really fun retro platformer with 2-player local co-op, a small download around 330 megabytes, and it offers plenty of game time to justify the asking price. The levels can get absolutely wild, and there are more than 200 designed just for the single-player mode, with another 60 dedicated for the multiplayer action. It is another tough game, but it's also a lot of fun, and right now it's on sale for just $1.99, marked down 50% and matching an all-time low until the 4th. Journey of the Broken Circle is a unique story-driven platform adventure title with a download around 1.3 gigs, and it should offer about 3 to 4 hours of story. Now in this one you set out on a journey to complete the perfect circle, and along the way you'll face and have to overcome several different obstacles or hurdles. The art is simple yet beautiful, and this is another hidden gem in my opinion. Right now you can pick it up for just $1.99, marked down 75% with the deal ending on the 29th. Next we have Kawaii Desu, which is a unique 2D fighter that has players taking control of pop idols next to inherit the throne of the underworld. The only way to achieve their goal is to gather as many souls from loyal fans as they can. It features a simplistic 2-button control scheme, gorgeous pixel art graphics, and a ton of replay value. On top of that, the game does offer local competitive multiplayer for 2 people as well, and right now it's on sale for just $1.99, marked down 60% with the deal ending in a couple days on the 22nd. You'll need a little under half a gig for the install. Lacuna is a single-player, narrative-driven detective game with a download around 1.8 gigs, and it has a deep story with branching paths and decisions that will affect the outcome. It should last roughly 5 to 6 hours to wrap up. Now the streamlined approach to the standard point-and-click mechanics do keep the story flowing forward at a pretty nice pace, and overall the story is engaging the entire time. It's a game I think that gets overlooked, and right now you can pick it up for just $1.99, marked down 90%, matching an all-time low, and the deal ends on the 4th. Manaspark: The Complete Edition is a top-down RPG offering about 9 to 10 hours of gameplay with a download around 500 megabytes. Now this version includes all 4 playable characters, the new dungeon and boss battles as well, and it has 2-player local co-op. This is another incredibly tough game with a deep combat system. It's also a roguelike, so you want to keep that in mind. It's very addictive though, and right now you can pick it up for just $1.99, marked down 83%, and the deal ends on January 2nd. Minute of Islands is a single-player 2D puzzle platformer with a roughly 2 gig download and a main story that will last about 5 to 6 hours to wrap up. In this one we play as a young tinkerer named Mo, equipped with our magical Omni Switch. And you'll need this to solve puzzles and work through the story, which is presented as an internal narration from the main character. The game is very friendly to new gamers, and most of the puzzles are pretty simple, and your Omni Switch can even guide you in the right direction if you happen to get lost. The game has a gorgeous art style and runs great here on the console, and right now it's on sale for just $1.99, marked down 90% to an all-time low, and the deal ends on the 4th. Rogue Heroes: Ruins of Tasos is a top-down adventure game that plays a lot like classic top-down Zelda titles from the 90s. It has a download around 1.8 gigs and offers nearly 20 hours of main story gameplay on average. On top of that, you have the ability to team up with up to 3 other people online and play the entire game together. There's also a town building system that adds even more depth to the already content-filled game, and right now it's on sale for just $1.99, marked down 90% to an all-time low, and the deal ends on the 7th. Tiny Lands is a relaxing single-player game that takes a simple premise such as spotting the difference between two pictures and then brings it to life with these tiny dioramas, each with a list of random different things for players to find and point out. The music is fantastic, and there are actually quite a few different levels with different themes to them and all of that. Right now it's on sale for just $1.99, marked down 67%, and the deal ends on the 30th. You'll need about 1 gig for the install. Atone Heart of the Elder Tree, which is a single-player action RPG that offers about 5 to 10 hours of story, and the download is around 3.7 gigs. Now this one was inspired by Nordic mythology, and it will give you branching paths based on your decisions during the story, and it is text-heavy, so be prepared for a bit of reading if you decide to play through. Where the game sets itself apart is in the combat system, which plays out like a rhythm-style minigame instead of active or turn-based combat that you would typically find within the genre. If you're interested in this one, make sure to grab it up before the deal ends on the 1st. It's marked down 90%, matching an all-time low at just $1.99. Red Wings Aces of the Sky is an aerial combat game for 1 or 2 players in local co-op, and it lets players relive some of the most historical battles from within the cockpit. Players will have to hone their skills and become a deadly force in the sky, with several different planes to choose from and plenty of historical moments to relive, plus the addition of co-op, which you know we always appreciate. This is a serious value when on sale, and it's currently marked down to just $1.99 with a 90% discount, and the deal ends on the 1st. Now keep in mind you will need a little over 5 gigs for the install. Super MagBot, which is a tough 2D platformer with a unique gameplay mechanic that separates it from most other games in the genre. You're given the power to control both positive and negative magnets, and they're colored blue and red while you're playing, and they are assigned to a different button on your controller. Now you'll use them to pull yourself around the different levels. It definitely takes a while to get used to, but for those looking for a good challenge, this is absolutely one to consider. The retro look and sound are great, the gameplay is addictive, and right now it's on sale for just $1.99, marked down 80% with the deal ending on the 24th. Red Wings American Aces is a really fun aerial combat style game with online multiplayer for up to 10 people, making it great for party and game nights, and the solo campaign is worth playing through as well. Now this is the sequel to a game we showed earlier in the list. There's a ton of cool planes and neat weapons, special moves that you can use, and the online servers have always been stable with no connection issues whenever we played as a crew in the past. The graphics in these games are unique, and this one runs great here on the console. They do offer a few DLCs, but they're mostly cosmetic, and you can of course buy those as well. But for me, I just stuck with the base game, which is on sale right now again for just $1.99, marked down 83% with the deal ending on the 1st. For this one, you'll need about 3.5 gigs for the install. Alright everyone, here are a few other great deals to check out while you're already on the eShop.
One would think that almost dying twice would teach you when to quit.
What can I say? Seems I'm a slow learner.
My, you're one.
Okay, got it. I'm on. Time to go. Roger. In position. Lock and load. Let's do this.
Blocks. Electrified blocks. And mechanical rats.
Alright everyone, that wraps up today's video. There are definitely more deals out there, and we'll have more videos coming your way. So hit that bell so you don't miss the notification. Take care everyone.